This is Angela Brown, and I am here with Debra LeBlanc, and she is a certified hypnotherapist. Now, one of the things that Deborah is going to share with us today, and it's things like how do I get rid of my stuff because I'm stuck? I'm emotionally challenged on moving on from some of the things that I'm hanging on to. And so, how do I move on? And because of her background in hypnotherapy, and I'm a huge fan of hypnotherapy myself, so I was hoping she could share with us some of the solutions that she herself has found. So please help me welcome Deborah LeBlanc.
Thank you, Angela.
How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
It does seem like unfair things happen in life. And some people find themselves on the overextension of like, oh my goodness, there's so much that's happening and it's happening so quickly, like a whole bunch of loss happening to you at one time of your life, to where you said, I just became numb to it all. I just became like a zombie. And I think that's a common feel for people that are in a coping stage where they're like, I don't know what to do next. I don't have the resources or the skills to know how to fix this situation. And so they go on autopilot while they're trying to come up with the new skills. And you were astute enough that you said, you know what, I'm going to learn the skills. I'm going to take the training and I'm going to learn the skills, and then I will have better answers. And I think there are a lot of people that are in the process of wanting to do that, but don't know where to start. What advice would you give to someone that wants to make a difference and they want to find their purpose and they haven't yet, and they're still in that stuck kind of zombie mode and they don't know where to go?
I would say just take a step towards something that interests you, something that you may have always wanted to do and never had a chance to, something that excites you somewhere deep, deep inside of you, something that resonates with you. If you take a step forward, that universe is going to bring things closer to you, more opportunities to you, and you'll see the light switch will go on when it's just going to be laid in your path. You will see it if you just have your eyes open long enough to recognize it when it hits. Like myself, for example, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew something had to be different, but I had no clue what. And who would have possibly been able to tell me, all you have to do is go on Google and look for gravel and your answer's going to come.
Well, hypnotherapy is an interesting study. I know there are a lot of people that don't understand it very well, and I know I didn't, but I bought a book from Dr. Daniel Amen, and he studies brains, and he's very well known for brain scans and helping people find a balance in what they eat and how it transfers into the way that they feel. And if you bought this book, he had a little packet of hypnosis programs that came along with it as like a freebie or something. And I never had listened to hypnosis or anything. And it was interesting because there was one on anxiety. Well, one night as a business owner, I found myself not being able to sleep. And I was really irate with an employee. And it seemed like we kept going over and over, like, these are the things we need to do. And they say, oh, yes, I understand. Do you understand that there's a consequence if this doesn't happen? Yes, I understand. Okay, great. And now it's time to implement the consequences because they still can follow directions. And I just was not sleeping at night. And I was super stressed out. I was like, I'm going to listen to one of those hypnosis tapes on anxiety because right now I'm at my limit. So I put the tape on and I didn't know what was happening, but he's like, look up, like make your eyes go up. And I was like, what is up with that? I don't know what this is all about, but okay, I'm trying to close my eyes. Why are my eyes like rising in my head? And they were like these weird directions that I didn't understand, like breathe very deeply. So I'm like breathing and I'm like, like, wait, I think I got out of rhythm or something. I'm like, this is really uncomfortable. I don't like this at all. And he explains on the tape that the whole purpose of me giving you these directives is so that you will learn to take direction because I'm about to give you some more at an unconscious level because in a minute you're going to drift off and you're going to become calm and relaxed and whatever. And I fell asleep. So I was tired anyway. Finally, I fell asleep. I was like, yay, thank you. I was able to relax and finally fall asleep. And I have no idea what the tape said. So the next day was so much better. And I was like, well, I think that might have helped. So every time I would get really anxious or have anxiety or whatever, I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to listen to that tape again." And I don't think it's a once and done if we're talking about hypnotherapy. I think it's a series of over and over and over and over again. And so I started listening to this one tape on anxiety over and over and over again. And I found that every time I did, I don't think to this day I've ever listened to all the words. I mean, he's very audible. He speaks very clearly. He articulates his words. But as soon as he starts talking, my brain just goes night, night, and I fall asleep and I'm out, which is what I need. And which is why I listen to it. Because if I'm anxious and I'm feeling frustrated and just like, "Ugh," it just puts me in a really calm state. Maybe it's his voice. I don't know. But it puts me in a really zen state. And then I'm able to relax and go to sleep. And so I don't know why, but instead of taking an over the counter or a pharmaceutical to put me to sleep, I've turned to hypnotherapy and I've become a really big fan of it. When I had my knee surgery, I was in a lot of pain. And he has, as what part of the same bundle, he has this one on chronic pain. And I said, well, lo and behold, I've had really good success with the one on anxiety. Maybe I'll listen to this one on chronic pain. And my body is very resistant to pharmaceuticals. When they gave me these heavy narcotics, they're like, hey, these are really addictive and whatever, and don't take them longer than you have to. And I was like, I don't want them. I just want to get better. And it didn't touch the pain. It just made me groggy. So I was like, if I'm going to be groggy and in pain, I might as well stop the narcotics and not have the grogginess, but I'll still have the pain. So I started listening to the chronic pain tapes. And as I fell asleep at night, and then I'm like, wait a second, I started noticing myself doing other things. Like I joined a gym and I started doing strength training for my knee so that I could get stronger. And within a couple of weeks, I started doing intermittent fasting. And then all of a sudden, the inflammation left my knee and I became better and my knee healed after a month of not healing at all. And I just kept listening to the tapes over and over again. And I wonder if maybe I should listen to all the words on that tape. I have no idea what is happening on the tape, but like my whole life has changed and I'm overcoming the chronic pain. And I'm wondering because, like you said, find somebody that's qualified that's really good. And I trust his judgment because I've followed him online and I've read several of his books, and he is a best-selling author. And he's someone that I trust is not going to just screw with my mind. Share with me, if you will, a little bit about what the hypnotherapy actually is and what the suggestions are that make you, even at an unconscious level, take action in your life that then has transformative behaviors.
Typically, the purpose of hypnosis is to bring you into a calm enough state so that we can go into the subconscious mind and help you change some limiting belief. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you have a phobia or a fear of dogs. When we're all born with the primitive mind, and that's where fight, flight, and freeze comes into play. And it's there for our survival. From the time we're born to about 10 years old, our mind begins filling with what are called known associations that we give meaning to. Say you were 4 years old and you were bitten by a dog. Your mind at in those formative years said, "Dogs are bad. If I go by dogs, they're going to bite me." So you have a negative association with a dog, and that follows you into adulthood. Even though you know intellectually that not all dogs are bad, you still have little heart palpitations every time you see a dog. You have heart palpitations and you just stay away. By the time we're 11 years old, the critical mind forms. I call that the trampoline that is layered between the subconscious and the conscious mind. The subconscious mind constitutes 88% of our brain power. Only the remaining 12% is there for reasoning, logic, willpower, that type of thing. The critical mind sandwiches the two of them together. And it's there to protect the subconscious mind because you gave all of these meanings to certain things in your formative years to keep yourself safe,
Mhm.
along with the primitive mind. So, what happens is that every day you get new input in, and every thought or what you might try as a new habit will bounce against that critical mind to see if it's going to contradict a known association in your subconscious mind. If it contradicts it, it won't allow it to go through and stick. That's why people have trouble with losing weight, stop smoking, because there is something in your subconscious mind that it is saying, "Oh, man, no. If I quit smoking, I'm not gonna have anything to turn to when I get nervous, when I get anxious." Instead of dealing with the anxiety directly or the nervousness directly, they're just gonna stick with smoking because it's trying to weed its way through something and change a known association that has always kept you safe. So they don't want to change it. Hypnotherapy allows you to relax enough so that we can go into the subconscious mind and change false known associations that we help you see through therapeutic imagery, can be EFT, just tapping, for example, is another example of hypnotherapy that doesn't even have you go into a Zen state. There are different forms that will allow you to go into the subconscious mind and change that belief that you gave yourself. Now, we're not there to change things that say, all right, there is a dark alleyway about 3 blocks ahead. It's a shortcut to my house and it's in a bad part of town. Yeah, but it's a shortcut. Your intellect knows, and in your subconscious mind, things in the dark can be bad. If you can't see your way, you can fall, you can trip, someone can be hiding. How do we know that? Because we hear it on the news. You may not have been attacked in the dark, but people who have been.
Mhm.
So your intellect is telling you, don't go this way. Hypnotherapy is not going to suddenly make you stop believing that and go, oh, hey, that's a shortcut to home. I'm going to go into that dark alley. We're only there to change the limiting beliefs that keep you from moving forward in your life. That's how that works. By helping you to relax, breathing is a big part of that because the mind and the body are connected. So when you can slow your mind down, and you do that by slowing your body down, then you're able to take the suggestions into your subconscious mind, change the false known associations to true associations. So your mind is no longer doing this push pull, conscious, subconscious. They're contradicting each other. Okay. Now they're working in tandem whenever we go in and change the limiting beliefs. A limiting belief like this: you're only worth what you do. You're not worth anything as a person. Your worth is in what you do, not in yourself as a person. That is a false belief. That's one I had for a long time. And it's going in there and it's saying, you know what? The person that showed me that was wrong. They were wrong. I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of laughter. I'm worthy of happiness in this life. And all of those things were big things for me. One of the issues my mother had, for example, is if I showed happiness with something, she squelched it. I couldn't be happy if she wasn't happy. So it took a long time for me to learn I'm worthy of being happy simply because I'm alive, simply because I'm on this planet. I am worth happiness, and it has nothing to do with what I do.
Deborah, tell us, if you will, where our listeners can go to find you beyond just the hypnotherapy.
They can find me at mindpaththerapies.com.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been really enlightening. And I really appreciate your authenticity and you're willing to share with us your experiences and your story. Because I know that there are a
My
lot of people
pleasure.
that are joining us here today that have similar or some elements that there's pain and they don't know how to get through that. So your willingness to share with us is just a godsend. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.